sack. Well, my interfere the Dojo business. Oh, my God. This is our 50th. Thank the Lord. My girl, I've set up a new restaurant. I've snazzy run. My interfere the Dojo. You can join us live here every week. This is our 50th. Thank the Lord. My girl, I've set up a new restaurant. All the best I've snazzy run. My interfere the Dojo. You can join us live here every week. This is our 50th. Getting to answer news. Set up a new restaurant. Then stick to the football or send me a message on all my social. You can join us live. But anyway, this week I answer news. What's the most annoying thing work has done to you as a run? And I've had some amazing answers come this week. Personally, I had a message. What's the most annoying thing they made a dreadful done to you? Well, I've had some that is amazing, dismissed answers come this week. In fact, there is always personally with what is the appropriate amount of time to say they made a dreadful done to you. So thanks, Pete, for that. We had a second dismissal from in fact, there is always, she said, they ate KFC at a boardroom table during a meeting. So thanks, Pete, for that. We had a second dismissal from Alexis. She said, well, they ate KFC at a boardroom table during a meeting. So thanks, Pete, for that. The world has a second dismissal from Alexis. That is the only way to let people know at work I am Satan. So thanks, Pete, for that. This world has a ritual disposing of before conducting hardcore business. Let people know. So thanks for that one. I am Satan. This grouping, she said, the most annoying thing at work was hardcore business who slurped and gasped loudly after smacking their lips. Well, let's be clear. Nobody likes work. Nobody likes a thirsty animal and gas loudly after. So, thanks very much for your comments and your responses. And remember, let me know what's the most annoying thing a work colleague stick it. So, thanks very much. Email me after your comments. But anyway, your responses. Without further ado, remember, on to our very first annoying thing a work colleague stick it. So, thanks very much. Email me after your comments. But anyway, your responses. Without further ado, remember, on to our very first. Hi, Mike. I've got some important clients coming up. I want to email me what are the acceptance. But anyway, without further ado. Entertainment. Well, that is a very first. Hi, Mike. I've got some and I will answer simply by saying he's part of the global framework for entertainment. Well, that is a very first. Hi, Mike. I've got some and I will answer. There are three levels of entertainment of the global. There is the basic, standard, and deluxe. Basic, when you may have a fruit basket. There are three levels, maybe even a celebrity impression. Basic is something that is very standard and deluxe. Want to show your appreciation. Basic, and there's a fruit basket. There are three standards, essentially celebrity impression. Basic is something that is very the baseball and deluxe. Want to show your cocktail bar. Concluding with an evening with essentially celebrity impression. Basically something that is very
Hello.
and finally, we have cocktail bars. Concluding with an evening with essentially celebrity impression. Basically something that is very
Hello.
and finally, we have cocktail bars. He is now concluding dead and disgraced with an evening before back. Essentially celebrity impression. So there we are, Rosemary. I hope that framework helps you. Because he is concluding dead and disgraced with an evening before back. So there we are, Rosemary. I hope that framework and come back you. Thank you. And disgraced with an evening before back. So there we are, Rosemary. I hope that framework and come back you. Thank you. And disgraced with an evening before back. So there we are, Rosemary. I hope that framework and come back you. Thank you. And disgraced with an evening before back. So there we are, Rosemary. I hope that framework and come back you. Thank you. And disgraced with an So there we are, Rosemary. I hope that framework and come back you. Okay, thank you. And here's thousand with So there we are, Rosemary. I hope that framework and come back you. So there we are, Rosemary. I hope that framework and come back you. So there we are, Rosemary. I hope that framework and come back you. We are back. Apologies for that slight mess up there. I've had to fire another individual. But thank you for bearing with me. Our next question. Dear Michael, do I have to call my manager sir and salute them every time I want to speak to them? This is a question in from Petunia Jones. Yes, Petunia, of course you do, you fucking moron. The salute is the American way of respect and was first invented by U.S. Army General Jack Sally Jacobs in 1852. After a dishonorable discharge coming after an unauthorized soap party in the gentleman's barracks, Sally went to work for the up-and-coming J.P. Morgan Bank. And he instilled the same army discipline in the bank that he learned in the army, including the salute and the usage of the term sir. The success of J.P. Morgan Bank meant that other institutions followed suit. So, Petunia, if you want to be part of a very successful company, you must salute your superior or your commanding executive officer. Why? Because they're your elder and you're better. And remember, it's sir for man, madam for woman, and smam for gender neutral. In some companies, it's actually a sackable offense if you don't, and you could find yourself being court-martialed, which still happens in existence in certain parts of the world. So stop frigging whinging about it and get on with it. So our next question is, we have a call into the show. The first call in. Here we go.
G'day, Michael. It's Michael Perkins from Melbourne, Australia. Hope you're keeping well, mate. Quick question. Is it okay to ask my customer to close her mouth when she eats? She wears braces on her teeth and food gets caught in there and it's really unsightly, mate. Welcome your thoughts.
Great question. This is very, very tricky ground. It's understandable that it's unsightly, and if it were a colleague, you'd be well within your right to walk up to them and threaten them with extreme violence. But a customer is different. By rights, she could eat a whole jar of pickled testicles and lick your face if she wanted to. Why? Because that's her consumer rights. But how do you deal with this? Well, there are two ways. Number one, you simply embrace it. You sap it up, right? You revel in the warm glow of her crooked tombstone teeth. And number two, you could pretend that you were blind. You could manage to converse with her without having to look at her face. And if the sound of the eating is also an issue, stick cotton wool in your ears and pretend you had a severe ear infection. So hope that helps Michael from, Michael. Right, well, it is now time for a new segment in the show, the weekly business update. Let's get some news in. Our first bit is Willie Walsh, Chief Executive Officer of British Airways, has resolved the standoff with the airline's cabin crew by saying all staff will be replaced with guide dogs. He is quoted as saying that the dogs will conduct more efficient safety demonstrations and more likely to encourage passengers to purchase duty-free on board. Sticking with airlines, customer data recently stolen in the EasyJet website hack by online hackers has been used to purchase Iceland. Residents in Reykjavik have automatically become employees of the company and will commence their working hours next week or face deportation. Middle-class UK high street store John Lewis has announced that it will be requiring all customers to conduct a background assessment to verify that they went to the correct school and have sufficient financial status to shop there. The store wanted to make it clear that they wanted to remove frivolous browsers who never had any intention of spending money there anyway. And then finally, we have a bit of business news coming from South Africa. Former South Africa leader Jacob Zuma has denied claims he used government funds to purchase 250 penguins to entertain him every night during 2015. He insists the money came from an unrelated business activity that was in fact used to purchase a small army of delinquent toddlers that would help force a victory at the country's next election. So those are the business headlines this week. Now, moving on to our last couple of questions. Here we have a Facebook message from J Nob, who says, I saw an advert pop up on my screen recently whilst I was downloading some very niche videos onto my laptop. Can I really earn $300,000 per year working part-time from home? Well, he sent a picture in. Let's... Good Lord. That is a gold mine. And I'm not talking about the lady. That would be highly disrespectful in the working environment nowadays. But what I am saying is a great opportunity for you to seize it. What a great opportunity. This woman is clearly a living example of this, of how successful you can be if you click the link there. Although there is clearly a uniform to be worn whilst working from home, as she demonstrates, but let's just quickly have a look at some of the symbols in this picture. Number one, the open blouse. It's a sign to clients that you're open for business. The relaxed but formal pose is a sign of professional integrity. And the medallion, finally, nestled in the ample bosom. It says, you dig far enough, you work hard enough, you'll find gold. So, yes, there are opportunities to work for $300 a year, $300,000 a year. Click on the link. It is completely and utterly safe. And finally, tonight, we have, I had an email in from a Ms. C. Johnson in Scotland. She says, Dear Michael, do you think it's important to have a British accent in order to be taken seriously in the international corporate stage? I never hear a Welsh or a Northern Ireland accent. I noticed the Scotsman, Gerard Butler, that's the Hollywood A-lister, used a fake American accent in interviews and blockbuster movies. Your thoughts, please. Well, let's see what those different accents actually sound like. We'll start first with the Northern Irish accent. Here we go.
Right enough. Oh God, it's wild time of the snow, all right.
It doesn't put you off from going to school.
Well, the mother says we had to go anyway. We hadn't much a choice in the matter, but sure.
It's a cold journey to school this morning.
Oh God, you wouldn't be long getting frostbite. And these new socks that I got as well. You see, I had to turn the hill just up to me. What do I say? I had to turn the hill up to my foot there, just so the sock would go longer. The mother got me these trainer sock things there. Oh God, you wouldn't give a long getting the ankles frostbite off you.
Right, well, and then let's move to a Scottish accent.
There are words and phrases in Glasgow that sound a bit like a foreign language even, so I'm on a mission to find some people to help me translate. Okay, so I love the Glaswegian accent, and I was wondering if you could teach me some local phrases.
Well, it's very hard to bring them to mind. This is the thing. It's all right when your eyes are not going and happy as eyes. You understand?
As you can see, totally and utterly incomprehensible. It's a little bit like the South African accent because it is incredibly aggressive and threatening to the ordinary person on the street. But you can use that to your advantage, particularly if you work in a debt collection agency. However, more generally, the growing momentum for embracing lost languages and dialects means that the bumbling simpleton on the street can be actually advantageous, working for you. Of course, let's be very clear, you would only ever have somebody running your company if they had an East or West Coast accent, or they spoke the Queen's English. But now, with access to free education for the masses, bumbling country folk like that can produce competent levels of work. As mentioned before, they provoke sympathy and pity with clients who believe they may have a cleft palate or a speech impediment. So yes, it's absolutely fine to go ahead with a Northern Irish or Scottish accent. Just clearly don't get into an argument with them. So that brings us to the very end of our show this week. Thanks very much for joining us. Apologies again for the IT problems. Yes, I have kept firing them. I wonder if this is purposely being put up as a stage to put me off. But anyway, keep your questions coming in. Remember to like if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and share the video if you want others to come and join us too. You would be really helping out the best in business, propagate his prophecy of business career enhancement. Anyway, thanks very much for joining us on Enter the Dojo of Business, and I look forward to seeing you same time, same place next week for Enter the Dojo of Business. Hiya!